NBC, I am wondering when you were going to apologize. NBC, I'm wondering when you're going to take some responsibility. NBC, I'm wondering when it's time to say that it's time for you to call it quits. Look, I put it like this. For those who have not seen the update, and I really didn't want to do an update to this, but it seems like it has to be done. Because for what we know now, because I told y'all, we've talked about this before, we probably wouldn't see this update on, remember, the boxer I showed you that was, that I was training, and this double murder business. What I'll do is, for those who missed the first video, I will put the link in the description field so that you can follow this, okay? That's what I'll do. However, you have to be kidding me that, given the news that we just saw not too long ago, all right, because NBC, you put out an article about, him being in court or whatever, and how the judge was very emotional, very angry at him, and very adamant at what he was going to do towards Brandon. Now let me talk about that for a minute. Number one, you can't have a judge be that angry. You can't. Okay? That's number one. I want a level-headed judge. So, with that type of anger and the way you're acting, we're going to try you as an adult and you're going to run him into the ground before anything happens. That tells me that you've already, you're thinking already in yourself that this person is guilty before being innocent. You've already, because let's be honest here, people, in this type of case, or any case, when it's guilty, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. Right? Beyond a shadow of a doubt. Here comes the doubt. Now, as you know, not too long ago, I had told you when I did the previous video, I told you that the community was saying, he didn't do it. He didn't. That was what we know. He didn't do it. That's what people are saying. So we found out that the prosecution not too long ago put their lone witness, on the stand to talk, and the witness got hostile. The witness admitted that the police coerced them into doing this, concocted this story that Brandon did this. Are you serious? This is what we do now, right? Now, when you're seeing this, I'm sure what I'll do is I will put the full articles, of course, in the description field. You should also know that updates will be happening, so maybe things will change. I don't know. All right? Because we saw NBC10 do that a lot, didn't we? Yeah, and the last time they kept changing the article. So, I'm just wondering, how sick, how twisted can you be, Philadelphia Police Department, to take a child, 16-year-old minor, and concoct this story so that you can say that you put somebody away? That's not only despicable, that's embarrassing. And not embarrassing just to that community, because it's already been embarrassed once NBC10 did what they did. It's not only been embarrassed once, you've now embarrassed it twice for the community, and you embarrass yourselves, as professionals. I don't understand why you thought this was okay, that you scared the kid into this situation. Because that's what it says. The kid was scared, coerced, concocted the story, and then when he got on the stand, he broke down and was like, no, it's not true. They did all this. I don't think we need to talk about the corruption that we know that's already here in Philadelphia. But you have to think, not too long ago, I was trying to bring the police together and do things with the community. When you see things like this, do you say, hey, fuck the police now? Do you say that? I mean, at what point do you get upset enough to say you need to sever ties? Or do you think a little bit, further about it and you say, hey, you know what? It's those type of police. It's not all police. There's some good police out there. It's one of those things. And of course it weighs heavy because the community right now, is really like, fuck the police. And of course that doesn't solve anything. Nothing will ever get solved that way with two sides that aren't willing to communicate. But when you do something that's so nasty, so vile, I can understand why people don't want to deal with them. And why, when you sign up, you're a police officer and you want to help people, and you say, we're the most hated people. We get hate every day. People absolutely dislike us. This is a good example on why. I don't understand how any of this still stands in court. I mean, literally, your lone witness just... I mean, what else are you going to get him on? The double murder should be thrown out the window at this point. You can probably still get him on the terroristic threats, but if you decide to drag in NBC10 after what they did that, you know, caused him to go that route, you can probably connect the dots and say he can fight that too. But maybe he won't. So let's just say that fails. So he's still going away. I had said before, he's going away to jail for the terroristic threats, and he'll go away for the illegal handgun. You know what I mean? That I can see. You could probably, you know, talk that down to lesser time too. But the biggest thing, of course, was the double murder. I had said I'd rather go to jail for the terroristic threats and the gun than a double body. You done after that. You know what I mean? You're done. I think a lot of people would agree with that. It's just funny because in the last video I did about this, like I said, I'm hoping this is the last time I have to talk about this. In the last video I did about this, some of you tried to troll and was like, he is an animal, and, you know, he belongs there. He deserves to be there. Like I didn't see that coming. That's why I ignored it and addressed it now. Because, as you can see, the lone witness has said, no, this is absolutely false. How you feel now? So while you're sitting around trolling and carrying on, and, you know, thinking it's funny to go, you know, keep going and trolling, like, it's funny, how your bank account look. Anyways, I'm done with this little update. It's been hard on a lot of people. I've talked to people within my group. You know, I had to cut some people out of the group as a lead, which that's another story for another time. But the people who were, you know, there, they were like, yo, just leave it be. Just let it go. And I'm like, my stance on this isn't whether he's innocent or guilty. I mean, that's not really. My stance on this is the media put out a minor's face, name, and address before even being considered a person of interest. That is against the law. That is a problem. And yet, we still have not heard an apology from NBC10. I'm really hoping that the parents sue the shit out of you. I really hope. We haven't heard anything yet from it. But I really hope. So all those animal comments and how he deserves to go to jail, and then you find out the witness is like, nah, they got me lying here. Now I think it's time you start looking at the police and saying, what the hell's going on here? Ridiculous. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all then.